Kim Kardashian is partnering with Lyft to help over 5,000 inmates get jobs when they are released from prison. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and we're talking about Kim Kardashian today. From an article from TMZ. Today's just going to be a very, very bizarre day, I believe. Now, here's something we should talk about, a little bit of context for what this all is. Kim Kardashian is very passionate about helping inmates get jobs after they leave prison. She also is concerned about prison overcrowding, and she has been working with President Donald Trump to release inmates who probably had less severe nonviolent crimes into the public so that they can start reestablishing themselves in life. And I'm not going to lie, I actually don't completely disagree with this. I think some of the inmates that are in jail are for crimes that were really minor offenses. They've been in there way too long. Our jail systems are too much, and there needs to be a program to help rehabilitate them to the real world. And ironically, the company she happens to be partnering with is Lyft. And this is funny for so many reasons. First of all, it actually gives us a reason to talk about Kim Kardashian on this channel. I never thought I'd be Kim Kardashian. Just to let everyone who saw the earlier video, I dislike her more than I dislike AOC, because I think she is definitely what's wrong with society in every real sense. But it also is kind of interesting because one of the biggest complaints with Lyft passengers is that there's been so many stories of former criminals who got through the background check who drove for rideshare because rideshare was one of the only things they could do to make money. And of course, because no one else would hire them, they were willing to work for those what are truly slave wages. So let's look at this TMZ article. That feels really weird saying that. Kim Kardashian Lyft partnership ready to help 5K inmates get jobs. So, Kim Kardashian West's recent announcement at the White House was only the start of a massive undertaking, of which almost 5,000 inmates will be able to reap the benefits from. Sources with knowledge of Kim's partnership with rideshare giant Lyft tells us the company has committed services to get up to 5K soon-to-be-released inmates to job interviews. We're told the biggest group of prisoners who have been granted release will get out of prison July 19th. So that'll be a fun day on the Lyft app. Our sources say Kim, in partnership with #Cut50, has worked tirelessly on both federal and local levels to ensure inmates will be provided housing and employment opportunities. We're told there's also a long-term plan in place to make sure those released from prison will continue to get opportunities for years to come. I will give Kim Kardashian this much credit, and keep in mind, her dad was a lawyer. Her dad was Robert Kardashian, who was one of the Dream Team lawyers who successfully defended O.J. Simpson in his trial and got him free. Now, there's some debate about whether or not that was a good thing or not. However, her dad was not a stupid man, and obviously she took something from him. And now it's interesting to see her getting into political causes, which I'm not really aware she was really doing much in the past. Or maybe I just never noticed. Kim has visited prisons across the country, recently spending time on death row, getting to know prisoners, their cases, and possible injustices. As we reported, Kim was at the White House Thursday with President Trump to announce her new partnership with Lyft. Kardashian has been at the forefront of prison reform, lending her voice to help free those locked up for life for non-violent crimes. At one point, she helped to quietly free 17 inmates in 90 days. Thursday's White House visit was Kim's second in about a year, and there are likely more to come. So yeah, again, my perspective on this, and it's funny, we've been talking a lot about politics today, which is something I don't normally do on this channel, is that if it's a non-violent crime, then I think some of these prison sentences were way too extreme for what the crime that was committed. So I actually am okay with her fighting for what I do consider to be a just cause. Now, again, this is going to be interesting because we don't have a lot of details about the Lyft partnership, and we will probably have to readdress this story once we know what's going on. TMZ, by the way, I think is an awful site. just to be honest. I don't think they typically do news. I think they have gotcha moments with celebrities, and all they do is pester them. This seems like a legitimate news story, though, and it's not like their sources are rarely wrong. They usually do get scoops that turn out to be very verifiably true later on, so I'm going to assume that they got it right on this case. I think they're bad journalism, but they're not typically wrong journalism. So when they say that they're partnering with Lyft and they've got like 5,000 inmates, well, I'm definitely thinking like, well, I think I know where this is heading. I think Kardashian and Lyft are coming up with an agreement to put these inmates behind the wheels of vehicles to drive for Lyft, and maybe even exclusively for Lyft. Who knows? In fact, maybe the inmates, I'm just kind of spitballing right here, but with the whole minimum wage thing coming up in California, I wonder if one of the goals here is to kind of use the inmates to test what restricted employment would actually look like for certain individuals. Like maybe Lyft's big thing will be if they have to pay minimum wage in California, maybe they'll have like a special program for former inmates, and they might, I don't know, maybe they'll get a different wage. I don't know how that's going to work. Or maybe they'll just put them on the Lyft platform, and people will just drive for the regular Lyft rates, because that's what a lot of inmates already do. It also begs the question, what will the public think about having 5,000 former inmates driving them around town? Granted, this is for non-violent crimes. We're probably talking about like shoplifting, things like that. But people don't like the idea of an inmate being in their car driving them around. You hear way too many horror stories. In fact, some of these inmates might not have even driven for very long because they've been in jail so long. Are they even really safe on the road? So it's going to be very complicated. This is going to be a very interesting story to keep an eye on. Now, again, I will say I do applaud Kardashian's efforts. I think a lot of people actually would agree with her, because heck, nationwide we did vote, and I voted yes on this too, to give convicted criminals who get out of jail and serve their time back their voting rights. Which, I think, yeah, that's important. I think when you go to jail, you get out, you've paid your dues, you should be able to vote again. So I voted yes on that. I think a lot of people did, and I think that, yeah, with prison sizes rising, we should do something to remove some of those people. And by the way, there's a lot of people in jail who are in jail for carrying like an ounce or two of pot. And it's like, look, I'm not a pot smoker, and I actually think it's a little bit, I think actually that drug is more damaging than people let on. I mean, I know a friend who smoked pot for years and doesn't anymore, and his memory is so fried after smoking pot for so many years. So I don't think it's a completely harmless drug. However, it's harmless enough that we shouldn't be putting them in jail for like 10 to 15 years or some crazy thing like that. So anyway, God help me, I have to say good on you, Kim Kardashian, for actually attempting to do some good in this world. It's going to be interesting to see what people think about the Lyft partnership, though. And I'm interested to hear what you think about the Lyft partnership. What do you think it's going to look like? And do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing long term? Please, I would love to know on this one. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices are getting you just a little down with how expensive they are these days, check out the Get Upside app below. It is a totally free app where you get cash back on every gas purchase, and it does add up after a little while. And consider subscribing to the Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel. It's more content for me, a little different from what I normally do here on this channel, but you might enjoy it all the same. And if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare people about things like this or anything you think about, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.